We are live. It's your favorite insurance agent, Starl Jr. and
Michelle DeSille, the Wealth Tattletale.
And we have a show for you. This is a show I've been waiting for a long time. And so grateful to have her as a guest on our show. Today, we are talking about if you want to change to a new career, like what should you do?
Mm-hmm. And it's always good to have somebody to navigate that situation because that's not easy to do. Job hunting. Ugh.
Yeah, it's pretty stressful nowadays.
Yes.
And there's so many different options. Like, how do you pick and choose?
Right. And then that resume that's hanging out there in cyberspace, who pulls that for you, right?
Right.
So we're going to give you some good insight on how to navigate that thick process of changing careers, looking for jobs. And this woman has a lot of information on it.
Absolutely. So if you are watching live, go ahead and in the chat type hashtag live. If you're watching a replay, go ahead and put in the chat hashtag replay. We look forward to having you on the show. And if you have comments or questions, feel free to type them in the chat. We'll be happy to ask our amazing guests. And without any further ado, let's go ahead and get lit. All right, so without any further ado, we're going to bring on Maribel Rodriguez, a.k.a. Sunshine. Hey, Sunshine, how are you?
I'm doing amazing, and y'all?
It's great to have you here. We are so excited to get the audience questions answered about this wonderful topic, this much needed topic, and you're just the girl to do it for us. So thank you so much for being with us tonight, Sunshine.
My pleasure.
So, if you will, tell the audience a little bit about yourself. Who is Sunshine?
Absolutely. My name is Maribel Rodriguez. I go by Sunshine. I'm owner of Sunshine Personal Solutions. It is a staffing company. We are located in Houston, Texas.
Excellent.
Awesome. How long have you been doing this?
I opened up my staffing agency in 2014.
2014. So that means that she has been in the business long enough to answer some hard questions about the employment industry. So I'm going to ask the first question.
Go ahead.
All right. So Sunshine, you are the owner of Sunshine Personnel Solutions. That's a big word, solutions. That means that you have the answer to the problems that we have out here in these employment-looking streets, okay? So if someone is out of work, and the pandemic has put a lot of people out of work, give me the first steps that they need to follow in the process of trying to get back to work.
You need to make sure, every candidate needs to make sure when they're looking for employment opportunities to make sure they have two forms of identification, their ID, their passport, and their social. It's very, very important for them to come and apply physically or even online with us. Mm-hmm. But if you do not have a resume, we're still taking applicants, but that would be a great opportunity for you to have your two identifications along with your resume.
Okay, when you say resume, sometimes people may not have that readily available. Is there any type of service that you have in place that will help a client prepare a resume?
We do. We actually have workshops that we're able to help candidates with their resume.
Fantastic.
That's awesome.
Tell me about this resume. Is it going to be a one-pager? Is it going to be, how far should they go back with their employment history? You know, sometimes people go back 10 years. What is necessary and what is not?
Well, first of all, their name, their email, then their phone number. I advise for them not to put their address because there's candidates that are willing to commute from a long distance. And if you put your physical address, there's a lot of times that as employers we view and we're like, oh, they might not be interested in driving the commute. But, you know, so I always advise name, email, and phone number. In regards to the years, we don't want to put like 40 years because that gives them out the age, So
Right.
we also look at the gaps in the years.
Mm-hmm.
If you are like a job hopper is considered if someone has had 5, 6 jobs within a year, that's a job hopper. If there's a whole gap, 5 years off, we're wondering as an employer, were you just off because you wanted to be off? Were you transitioning from college to being a housewife, or just staying home, or were you in prison? So we ask all those questions in regards to seeing gaps between long years of work. So 10 years is good. I mean, we always look at the background. There's people that do stay employed 20, 30 years,
Yeah.
with stability at one location, then they decide to change careers.
That's awesome.
This is really good stuff. I mean, okay, Sunshine, you said something that really, really resonated with me for the curiosity, but it would resonate with our listeners because somebody may be in this situation. You mentioned the long gap that somebody could have possibly been in prison. We know there are certain people that are really eager and ready to make a new start because they've changed their lives and they're hoping for a second chance program. Do you cater to that demographic?
Absolutely. We're open to felons. We're open to misdemeanors and clean backgrounds. We have equal opportunity. There are employers that strictly just want clean backgrounds, crispy clean backgrounds. And we do respond to their needs and expectations. But we also have those that are open to people that have been in prison. And I do believe in second chances. So we're here to give second chances to anyone, whether they've never had experience before, they're looking for their first time, out there for shopping for their next job, or the first time, working.
That's amazing. I'm glad about that second chance. Let me call my Uncle Joe.
So, what inspired you to go into the staffing business? What's the story behind that?
In 2010, I started working for a staffing company, and I learned the ins and outs of being able to place employees and having the opportunity to work in the HR and accounting. I was able to, continue working, in that department, but already in the staffing company. 2014, I lost my job, and I'm like, well, I have the abilities, the skills. I can definitely continue doing this of blessing people with employment opportunities, and learning the ins and outs of different industries really helped me to expand in staffing and being able to partner up and blessing candidates with great opportunities, and also blessing employers with great candidates.
Absolutely.
Well, we're glad for the work that you're doing.
Absolutely. So, what makes your staffing company different? Because it seems like they're a dime a dozen nowadays. Like, how is Sunshine Personnel Solution
There
different?
are actually many agencies. Like everywhere you turn around, there's an agency. Well, we stand out. We're very unique. We cater to the community, to our employees, to candidates, to employers. We do workshops to be able to educate people, whether it's someone looking for employment, a startup company, versus already an established company. And we do a lot of sponsorships for different events that are happening in Houston, the surroundings, and also outside of the city and state. We definitely stand out. I have branded myself along with my team. I have an amazing Sunshine team that has helped in every aspect. Of course, I couldn't do this by myself, but with my team.
Excellent. So, so if somebody is currently in their career and they're just hating life right now, what are some pointers that you could give that person if they want to transition, but they don't know exactly what type of career that they want in the future?
First of all, you have to have a passion for what you do. It doesn't matter if you're an employee, if you have a business, if you are somewhere where just where you are just not happy at all. Definitely, it's time to change careers. Follow your passion, see what you enjoy doing. Myself, I'm a people's person. I can be physically interacting with someone, or even on Zooms. During the pandemic, we did a lot of Zoom interaction, and like I said, I'm a people's person. I love interacting. I love helping. I love giving out a helping hand if I can, and I think I'm, following my passion, helping others. And whether it's someone looking for a job, someone already established, or even a colleague or a company, an employer, just interacting. And we have to keep in mind everyone has a different mindset, different education. We have worked with people that have graduated versus someone that does not have any background in history of experience in work, as well as someone that dropped out. So we do our very best to speak to their level, to where they can understand this, because not everyone has a degree. And there are people that have been in prison 30, 40 years, and we're helping them. And now technology and the social media is huge
Mhm.
in the community. Not everyone has a cell phone. Not there's a lot of people that have come out of prison and they don't know the ins and outs of even holding a cell phone or how to dial out. And we have to be very mindful of who's in front of us and who we're trying to bless people, with the next job opportunity that we have.
Mhm.
Excellent. So we got a question from the audience.
Yes.
So are these full-time or part-time jobs that you have to offer?
A lot of our jobs, 99%, they're full time and they're temp to hired. And also, it depends on your performance and your attitude.
Awesome. Okay.
Performance and attitude. I know you're really big into attitude.
Yes.
Attitude, yes. So my advice for anyone looking for their next employment opportunity, or even to change their careers, attitude, body language, that counts a lot. I'm huge on that. It does not matter if you're looking for a job or you're already an established employer, or even an employer calling us, reaching out to us for employees. I have a great attitude. I like respecting everyone, and I expect the same. But one thing I'm zero tolerance is with attitude, or anyone coming to apply and disrespecting any of my personnel. I think if you are looking for a job, we need the personnel, you need the job. So we're about to respect each other.
Excellent.
Great.
So what's been one of the hardest challenges over the past year or 2 years? The pandemic has been a different animal. What has
Shortage of
been
labor. There's a lot of people that don't want to work. 99%. I'm
there
in
you go.
healthcare. That's my bread and butter. So I focused on a daily basis to be able to reach out to the audience. Um, there's two audiences that I have to capture. It's someone looking for employment and an employer looking for the next candidate. And of course, when
Mm.
there is a shortage of labor and we have to weed out the bad apples, good apples, we keep the good ones. And my next advice is everyone wants to be on their phone, on their cell phone. And, you
Yes.
know, actually being on the cell phone, um, and working doesn't blend well together. As an employer, that's something that I'm not big about. I'm like, please, if you're on my time, respect my time. And, we're about to get along well, and any employer would feel the same way. If you're under somebody's time, respect your time. There's time for you to be on the cell phone on your own time.
That's good insight. Now, with the economy the way it is, Sunshine, before, when the pandemic came, people were getting more in unemployment than they were on their jobs. So they just, people just refused to go back to work, right? And so now the economy is in a sort of a lull at the moment, but the job market is up. And you mentioned about the shortages. How are you guys combating with people that are now ready to go back to work and there being a shortage? So how are you dealing with that?
Well, we have more job opportunities than we have people applying.
Mm-hmm.
We're reaching out. I'm consistent on social media. We do have a virtual assistant that is consistent on social media, and we're just reaching out. Now, TikTok is one of the most famous platforms where everyone's at. So, and what I always advise, anyone, please share our information on your stories. People are seeing more on social media, on the stories, than on all the social media platforms. So yes, that's my main thing. We're reaching out to everyone that is in need of a job, and of course, we had to meet criteria. We had to meet our clients' needs and expectations. Every client has different requirements, different
Right.
backgrounds that we have to meet. So we have to conduct interviews, paperwork, making sure we send the right candidate. And I'm in the industrial construction, oil and gas field, as well as the healthcare. So all of them have different criteria. For example, if someone is requesting a general labor, we have to make sure that they have a background of working outside. This heat is insane in Houston, Texas,
Right.
and we don't want to send someone that has worked at an office
Yes.
going out there in the field, because guess what? They're going to pass out, and we don't need
Mhm.
to go through all that. So we just have to make sure that we follow protocol procedures and let our people know. And sometimes there's people that come in desperately looking for employment,
Mhm. Mhm.
and they're like, "Can you send me anywhere? I've never worked out in the field, but I'm willing and interested." And those are the first ones that will probably more than likely pass out in the heat. So we have to be very cautious about who we send out. We don't want to just send bodies. We want to send quality.
Right. So, since there is a shortage, will you tell our audience what types of jobs are available and what are you looking for?
We are looking from admin to medical assistants, engineers, CNC machine operators, industrial, a lot of salespeople in retail, as well as marketing assistants, events um, assistants to be able to attend the exhibitor booths
Mm-hmm.
in Houston, the surroundings, outside the city and state. So it's a
Well,
lot. I mean, we're very consistent on putting this on social media, all the positions
yeah.
we have.
So, you guys that are out there looking, it may not be you that needs a job, but call your cousin, call your uncle, call your auntie. If they
Mhm.
sleeping on your couch, you better tell them somebody out there has a job for 'em.
And we definitely do.
Absolutely. So if you have any questions for Sunshine, go ahead and type them in the chat. While they're doing that, Sunshine, how can people get a hold of you?
My direct number is 832-863-1090. And the website, it's www.sunshinepersonalsolutions.com. And we are on all the social media platforms.
Fantastic.
And we have the online application as well.
That makes it simple. Technology nowadays, huh?
Yeah. No excuses. No
Yes,
excuses.
no excuses.
Cool.
And we have an upcoming workshop with resumes. So whether it's an employer already established, because as an employer, you still have to have a professional resume,
Yes.
especially if you're getting an award or you're trying to submit an application for a loan, or just, that's part of your brand, a resume. Tells the
Mm-hmm.
history of your work experience as well as someone looking for a job. And even if you don't have a work experience, you can create a resume.
Hmm.
Hmm.
That's cool. So, is there any books or resources you would recommend if somebody's going on an interview to prepare for the interview?
YouTube and Google. Look up how to create a resume. Last year, Google and I became best friends.
That's awesome. Yep. Anything you want to learn is on YouTube, right?
Yes,
Look up under
indeed.
hashtags. Hashtag
YouTube
resume.
University.
Hashtag
Yes.
university. I
University,
love that.
yes.
Hashtag university.
University, yes.
That's awesome. Well, we appreciate you for being on. Definitely hang out in the waiting room as we wrap up the show. And I'm
Absolutely.
so excited you finally made it on the show.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you to Darnell and Dr. Michelle.
It's a
Definitely.
pleasure. Hey, we travel in the same circles. We know how busy you are out there. We have firsthand knowledge of how you get down.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Definitely.
So cool. Well, hopefully we'll have you on the show in the future.
Thanks again.
Thank
My
you.
pleasure.
Awesome.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, she's a wealth of knowledge.
Yes,
And so,
absolutely.
yeah.
From experience
Mhm.
and being out there in the industry. And here's the thing.
Absolutely.
One of the things that I love that she said, most times your ideas and your dreams are birthed out of hard times. She lost her job, but she didn't waver. Hey, I have experience. You turn your experience and your ideas into money-making machine, and that's what
Definitely.
she did. And so this was so inspiring to hear and to be able to share her story with the audience.
Absolutely. And I like the fact that she said, even if you have a job, keep your resume up to date.
Right.
Just in case somebody calls you is like, hey, we want you to be the next speaker. Send your bio. So if your resume
Exactly.
is up to date, it's easy. It's like, okay, here's my resume. This is what I've done. This is why I'm
Absolutely.
qualified to speak at your engagement.
And speaking of bios, people need to understand that you need to really have three. You have you have to have your bite size, your medium size, and the long one, depending upon what type of event that you're going to be at. And I get asked this all the time when I'm speaking. Hey, we're gonna do such and such. We just need a quick bio. So I got the short one, the bite size one, then the long one. If I'm so people need to know it's a method to this madness that we do.
Method to the madness. Absolutely, absolutely. And speaking of bio, like we actually have a lot of events coming up, and I actually just put together a website, darnoldjr.com. Go check it out. And we have some upcoming events. So let me share this with you guys. Let's see if my computer will cooperate. This is my first time sharing my screen and window and Darnold Jr. Share. All right. Bear with me. All right. Let's try that again. Oh, me. Sure. So there's a lot of great events coming up, and one of them is around the corner. So if you are a man, any men in the audience, we have a men's workshop coming up.
Yeah.
Andrew Landry, he's the one that's putting that together, and it's going to be super exciting. And so if you go to darnoldjr.com, if you click on upcoming events, it's going to be on August 27th from 8 a.m. to 3:30. And so yours truly is going to be one of the speakers. So
Yes.
it's super exciting. Where Men Hurts. It's going to be a conference on all the little intricacies that will help propel men to the next level.
Yes, awesome.
And
awesome.
then for the teens and the young adults out there, yours truly, both of us, Michelle DeSalle, and I will be teaching finances to teenagers.
Yes.
Yes, we're blessed by the Aldine Library System to come in, and we're going to be speaking at 3:00 p.m. on September 8th. So that's a little less than a month away. Can you believe it's that quick?
I know. But I'm so excited because this is the one thing that they've taken out of the schools. So we got to get it in there the best way we can. And so Aldine ISD will be working with these wonderful children, and I'm so excited about this.
Yeah. So if you have any kids and you want to teach them about money young versus how we learned it,
please.
Show
teach them young.
3 p.m. September 8th. And then also Judge Lucia Bates, she's hosting her own teen youth conference. And so that's going to be on September 10th at 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. The address is Memorial High School. So if you have any teens, send them to that.
Yes.
Summer Creek Rotary Club, they're going to have me as a guest speaker on September 13th. So if you're an early bird, 8 o'clock, it's going to be early meeting.
You got to roll out the bed ready for that one. Y'all sleep in your clothes the night before.
Right? Sleep in the car. That way you don't have to show up. So yeah, it's going to be at Generations Park in the Nimble Office Suite, and that's on September 13th. In addition to that, I'm actually on the board we're doing our own men's conference. So a lot of men's conferences coming up. We have a heart to educate the men, to empower the men, to take them to that next level. That's September 17th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. That's going to be hosted at Greenhouse International on the north side of Houston. So it's free. Did I say free?
Yes,
it's a citywide initiative. We're going to have a lot of food there. So show up, come hungry to learn, come hungry in your bellies because we're going to feed you. It's going to be great. And last but not least, we're going to have Boost Your Sales Skill Workshop. So if you don't know how to sell, selling is the number one skill that anybody, I don't care if you're a leader, if you're a business owner, if you're an entrepreneur, you have to know how to sell.
Yeah.
You're going to have to know how to communicate. And so yours truly is hosting Boost Your Sales Skill Workshop. And this workshop isn't going to be just me talking, but it's going to be interactive.
Yes.
Where you actually get to apply the things I teach you.
Mhm.
I've been in sales 20 years. Can you guys believe that? I know I don't.
And he over here looking 22.
I started
right?
when I was 2 years old. I promise. I'm joking. No, I started straight out of high school. Been in sales industry for over 20 years. So I have a couple things I can share with you.
Got some
Just
things
a couple.
to share.
Just and if you know, the best investment is to invest in yourself.
Yes.
So we appreciate you guys for tuning in. You are investing in yourself by being on this show, by being on Finland Live. So super exciting that you love yourself to learn about how money works, because
Yes.
some people are like, I'm not greedy. I don't want to learn about money. But it's okay. The reality is, how many working hours do we spend earning money?
Earning money. Yeah.
We spend more time earning money than almost any activity in our whole life.
Right.
So you might as well learn how to manage that money, how to take it to the next level, how to have your money work for you.
And when people have that insight, you just have no idea. It's when you say that, you're saying that because you don't have the knowledge. You're speaking out of the lack of knowledge, because you're only one sickness or one accident away from being in poverty. Because if you are working for money, if it's storming outside and raining and everything, and you got to get up and go, you work for money, but you need to know how to let money work for you.
Absolutely.
See, when it's storming and raining, I still sleep.
Come on now. Come on now. Same here.
No. So it's beautiful knowledge, because once you learn this, you can't unlearn it. So you want to do it. You want to do better.
Absolutely. I always said the phrase, a lot of times people lose their health in order to gain money, and then they lose their money in order to gain their health back.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
So that's why knowledge is so important, because that way you can sleep beautifully at night. You're not stressed out over finances.
That's why he still looked 20. That's why he looked like he's 22.
There you go. No worries. And that's because of the Lord too. I give him all the glory for that one.
Hey, well, you know what? Look, I contributed waking up in this melanin. Well, go ahead.
There you go. So cool. Well, we appreciate you guys for tuning in. If you are on YouTube, go ahead and like and subscribe. How can people go to hold of you?
You can go to my Instagram, Michelle DeSalle, The Wealth Tattletale. You can reach me on Facebook. Or if you want to sit down with a consultation with me, you can see me at centricadvisor.com.
There you go. And if you want to get a hold of me, check out my brand new website, donaldjr.com. You can see all those events that we just announced on the show.
By the way, that's a nice looking website.
Thank you. Thank you. I actually designed it a long time ago, and I was like, oh, I need a website. And I went back. I was like, oh, it's still there.
It's still there.
All I have to do is update it. So that was great.
You didn't have to get ready. You stayed ready.
I stay ready. I was a Boy Scout. Be prepared. So we appreciate you guys for tuning in, and tune in next week, because we have a really exciting show for you guys. We appreciate you for getting lit.